morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is George Reese. I'm pleased to stand here with some of the leaders of our city that continue to put our children first and make them a priority. I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio, and if anybody that knows me, they know I'm a proud East Sider. Growing up, I spent countless hours in the summer playing basketball at rec centers across this city, and especially here at Brentnell Recreation Center. I'm a benefactor of some strong parenting and mentoring, and I know firsthand the difference that it makes in young men's lives, especially black men. With a strong support system behind me, in my years of playing basketball at the rec centers, I had the opportunity to play at The Ohio State University. Upon graduating, I got the opportunity to play basketball professionally overseas. However, I never forgot my hometown, so when I was done playing basketball overseas, I made children in Columbus a priority. With that in mind, I started Always With Us Charities. We focus on providing educational opportunities for school-aged children on the East Side, ensuring them a safe and healthy environment for the summer. I seek to provide the tools to excel in the classroom and in the community. I know firsthand that our children have needs, and because of the funding of the City of Columbus, Always With Us and other programs in Columbus are able to serve the children and the youth for the summer months. Always With Us has also been able to serve youth and the black men of Independence High School for this school year due to the support from the Department of Neighborhoods through its My Brother's Keeper initiative. I would like to thank Mayor Andrew J. Ginther, Council President Shannon Hardin, Council Member Emmanuel Remy, members of Columbus City Council, Department of Neighborhoods, and Recreation and Parks Department for being intentional about investing in our children. It is with your support that others can provide safe and learning experiences for our kids, our future. President Obama once said, "In the face of impossible odds, people who love this country can change it." I want to tweak it a little bit. In the face of impossible odds, people who love Columbus can change it. I would now like to introduce to you a man who has shown he loves this city and wants to change it, Mayor Andrew J. Ginther. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Appreciate you. Thank you, George, and so exciting to be here. George, Shannon, and I are both all Columbus City School graduates, Columbus kids, and so it's always great to be with great Columbus City School graduates who are doing amazing things and continue to give back to this community. To the Council President, Councilmember Remy, all of Council just so appreciate their partnership, their work. Director William Scott, the Department of Neighborhoods, Director Reese, the other Reese up here in our Recreation and Parks Department, all our city departments, community partners who've worked together to make all of this happen. A special shout out to Marshall Troxel, who has worked so hard to get us to where we are today to share some great news with the people of Columbus. We're excited to be here today to announce another significant investment in summer programming for Columbus youth. This is especially important as we continue to turn the page on the pandemic and the fallout associated with it for young people. The day-to-day implications of COVID-19 have been greatly diminished thanks to safe and effective vaccines and treatments. But the fallout from back-to-back years of instability and upheaval continues to manifest in a variety of ways, particularly among our youth. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. No group was more disproportionately negatively impacted by the pandemic than our young people. And today's investments are fantastic, but we have to commit to make restorative investments for years to come to make sure that our young people catch up with respect to academic growth, behavioral and mental health, and resiliency skills as they continue to grow. We want them to thrive, not just survive. And this is what these investments are all about. No one will argue with the impact of the pandemic on young people. Increased isolation, anxiety, and depression, a rise in risky behaviors, learning loss, academic disruption, the list goes on and on. Study after study tells us that. And it may be years, if not decades, before we truly understand the real impact of it all. We owe it to our kids to give them every chance to succeed. We owe it to them to invest heavily in their health, their well-being, so they can build the foundations they need to lead happy, fulfilling lives. That's what today's announcement is all about. Stepping up during the summer months as a community to keep our kids safe, active, and engaged, to try as best we can to make up whatever ground they lost as a result of the last few years. We owe it to them, our future leaders, to be there for them in every way we can. They are our collective responsibility. They are our children, whether or not they're ours legally or biologically. These children are our kids. As a community, we need to stand up for them, invest in them, hold them accountable, correct them, and discipline them as well to make sure that they are successful and healthy moving forward. We've been working at this for months. We knew from the start that we had to be thoughtful and strategic about how we'd rise to the challenge. The city, for our part, has already devoted $11.2 million this year for summer programming. These includes fundings for well-established and proven programs like the Teen and Police Service Academy, often called TAPS for short, which builds trusting relationships between teens and law enforcement. Also on deck are the traditional slate of summer camps and classes offered through our Recreation and Parks Department, internships with city departments, ongoing partnerships with the schools, local nonprofits, and more. We knew, however, that more needed to be done. But first, we had to determine what our community's needs are. So we launched an open and competitive application process by which area organizations could submit funding proposals for their summer youth programs. We accepted submissions from April 4th through April 25th, and then an internal committee comprised of staff from city departments and city council evaluated the proposals to identify which ones had the greatest potential to do a couple of things: reduce youth violence, improve workforce readiness, connect youth with education and employment, and provide academic enrichment. It was a daunting task. We've got some incredible partners who made very strong cases for funding, given the size and scale of the order, but we managed to lock down enough funding to allocate an additional $8.9 million for more than 90 community organizations that have the credibility, the relationships, and the track record of improving the lives of young people in our neighborhoods. That brings our total investment in summer programming to $20.1 million, a remarkable figure when you consider we had to rely less on federal stimulus this year than we have in the past. Those resources are beginning to wind down. It became clear early on that we would have to shoulder a heavier share of the financial burden, and we are. We're glad to do it. Our kids are worth it. This work is among our highest callings as a caring and compassionate community. I believe the next decade will be our most consequential. We owe it to our kids, all of them, to invest in them first and foremost, and in ways that marshal our respective contributions and maximize our collective impact. To share more about this announcement, I'd like to introduce our great partner, an incredible ally for children and families on City Council, Council President Shannon Hardin.
Well, good morning. It is great to be here at Brentnell Recreation Center, a center that, as the mayor said, a Columbus kid. A lot of us have come through. To the mayor, to my colleague, Councilmember Remy, to Director Reese, to Director William Scott, and to all the folks behind me who have been doing the work, and because of these investments will be able to grow their impact in Columbus. We say thank you. The headline of today, as the mayor said, is that we are investing $20.1 million into our young people. When the mayor just said that, I remember our early conversations a couple months ago when council started meeting with the administration and we started talking about, the impacts of the pandemic, as the mayor talked about, and what they have meant for young people. It reminded us that last year we made a historic investment of $16 million And we knew that that was a high point. But we knew that that our young people still needed greater investment. And so we are proud to partner with the mayor, with this administration, with community partners to send these $20 million out into our community to have great impact this summer. So we're excited to talk about these excellent summer programs because we recognize that learning takes place both inside and outside of the classroom. And while schools are out for this summer, it is crucial that we give our young people the opportunity to learn and stay safe by participating in jobs and internships and in summer programming. So the city is investing in a wide variety of safe, fun, and creative programs to give our kids and teens cool things to do throughout the summer, including a chance to get internships or jobs. Personally, I'm a true believer in the impact of learning and earning because I've witnessed it firsthand. Mayor, do you remember Wyandotte Lake? He said these Columbus kids, now it's Zambezi Bay. That was my first job. That was my first job. And even though it didn't lead to a career in entertainment in theme parks, right, it did, it did teach me a lot about working with people and the value of hard work. Summer jobs put extra dollars in our young people's pockets. They keep folks out of trouble, allowing them to participate in meaningful ways in our community as young people. So the city wants our youth to have those same type of opportunities that we all had. So you can, like me, still apply to Zambezi Bay and get a job this summer, or you can apply here at the City of Columbus. We have lots of jobs available for our young folks, even right here in the Recreation and Parks Department. Perfect job for young people. I hear we are still looking for lifeguards, and it is paying well, much more than when I worked at a water park. That's why the city is investing more than $20 million for programs and services this summer. The mayor talked about the $8.9 million that we worked collectively with his administration to go through all the grants from these organizations to fund. The commitment is simple. The work was hard leading up to this. The algorithms to figure out what program to fund was complex, but the commitment is simple. If you have a young person, if you have a child, if you have a niece, if you have a nephew, if you have a mentee, because of this funding and because of the programs that are being added to this community this summer, every young person in Columbus should be able to get a job, should be able to get an internship, or to be able to actively engage in a summer program that will enrich them. That is our commitment this summer to Columbus youth. It is that simple. If you know a young person, please connect them because the resources are going out starting today. We are so grateful for this opportunity. We are so excited about this summer. Our young people have been through a lot, but because of the collective work of this community, we know that this is going to be the most enriching, the most powerful, and the safest summer for our young people yet. Someone who is working extremely hard to make sure that those words are actually true and that we have these resources out in the community is my colleague, my friend, Councilmember Emmanuel Remy.
Good morning. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Mayor, Director Reese, and Director William Scott, and all the people that actually do the work. Thank you. And Mayor, thank you for your team for the collaboration that we have taken to get here today. Yesterday, we had the CARE Coalition down at City Hall to acknowledge Trauma-Informed Awareness Week. They brought with them dozens of paintings done by children expressing their trauma through art and how they are healing. More importantly, they brought with them students who read essays sharing the trauma that they have experienced. All of them repeatedly spoke of the root cause of this trauma, and that was COVID. As a father, a husband, and a legislator, I know firsthand the impact of this pandemic. But to hear the children's pain in their voice, to see their tears flow, you realize that their generation is still reeling, and it is a reminder that the lasting effects of COVID require investment to heal these wounds. What you see us doing today, this $20.1 million investment, a 25% increase over last year, is continuing this investment of dollars to help provide opportunities at all levels for youth to get involved in the community this summer and find alternative paths to what may be right in front of them in their own neighborhood, on their own block. These summer programs and services are aimed to create a spark that can lead to a lifetime path of developing a career, attending college or a trades program, and helping others. All of these programs aim to educate in various forms and change the trajectory of a child's life and our community. I thank you to all the 90-plus community organizations who will use this funding to work with the wonderful youth of our city. We know that we have many parts of this puzzle. We know that we will be working very, very hard to ensure that the safety of our children are the very top priority this summer. This is just the beginning, and it's an honor to be here today to announce this work. Thank you. And now I will invite Carla Williams Scott, Director of the Department of Neighborhoods, to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you to our Mayor, Andrew Ginther, Council President Harden, Council Member Remy, and Director Reese, and all of my colleagues that are here with me. I appreciate your leadership on this very, very important issue. It takes all of us working together to make a difference for our young people. Thank you, George Reese, with Always With Us Charities, and our partners from the African American Male Wellness Agency for being here today to share how they are helping to make a difference with through their programs and the work that they are doing with our young people. The Department of Neighborhoods, My Brother's Keeper program, has been deeply engaged in summer youth programming since 2020. We are excited to continue our work this year with over $3.7 million in investments in 27 organizations and programs that are slated to receive funding this year. Work with young people from elementary school to post-high school. We realize that young people at every age need quality activities, programs, trainings, and employment during the summer. Last year, nearly 1,000 of our young people, of our youth, were actively engaged in summer programming provided through funding awarded through the Department of Neighborhoods. These investments are more important now than ever as we help our young people to build the financial capabilities to develop employable skills and navigate life post-pandemic. You heard from our colleagues, my colleagues that spoke before me, just how important and the impact that the pandemic has had on our young people. We know this adverse effect on our students, from their mental health to their academic achievement and workforce readiness. The programs that were selected through this competitive process will help to fill the gap and give young people the tools that they need to succeed. For example, we will work again with the Columbus Fashion Alliance. Their program last year taught students about all aspects of the fashion industry and produced 2 capsule collections, and they distributed more than 4,000 garments free of charge throughout our community. This year, ICE Mentors program will empower students working through real-life connections with community leaders to teach them confidence, maintaining good character, and networking. All of the funded programs will encourage students not only to find their passions, but to build on them and create their path to a brighter future. Additionally, 9 of the programs that we are funding will offer paid, project-based learning opportunities that serve as catalysts for academic and career success, where students can earn up to $2,400 over the course of the summer. Once summer ends, we are confident that our students will be more prepared to meet the needs of the current workforce, less likely to engage in violent or risky behaviors, and more likely to continue their education and find employment. We look forward to coming back to you at the end of the summer and sharing our results from some of these summer programming. Again, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your continued support of summer programming for our youth. Collectively, as a community, we all have a role in helping our young people succeed. And now I'd like to ask Director Bernita Reese to come to the podium.
As we continue to drop the mic, we just get shorter and shorter. So thank you so much, Director William Scott, to Mayor Andrew Ginther, President Hardin, Councilman Remy, and George Reese. I really say thank you. For years, Columbus Recreation and Parks Department has been honored to offer high-quality, affordable summer camp programming for our children. There's a variety of opportunities for children ages 6 to 12 who have a wide range of interest. And if you don't know what those interests are, just talk to a young person that's in between that age group. Some camps teach children about our natural environment, while others let them engage in creativity pursuits like theater. We also offer camps that keep children physically active during our sports camp and allow them to experience sports for the first time, or even to evaluate and take their skill to the next level. We even offer STEM themed camps, and this is offered with not only a science program base, but also through our golf program. So we want children to explore their interests. They can lead to a great career path. We're excited that thanks to the support of our elected officials, our camps are extremely affordable. Our camps have some of the lowest cost in the area. Let me say that again. Our camps have the lowest cost in the area. Some are even free. You don't hear that word too often. Each summer, we see firsthand the benefits of offering our youth a safe, supportive place to engage in positive, enriching activities. While our camps are fun, activities focus on helping children advance their social, emotional, and educational development. Youth are learning and growing, sometimes even without realizing it. Although the emergency response to the COVID-19 pandemic is over, the city's commitment to our youth remains as strong as ever. We worked during the pandemic to offer summer programming, and we continue to offer it today. That's why the investment in a wide range of youth programming during the summer months is essential for helping our young people build their skills, find their passion, make meaningful connections, and more. These are lifetime memories for most of our young people. Keeping this in mind, when the city looked through the applications from over 150 organizations seeking funding to support their own summer youth programs, we looked for specific summer youth programs that we believe would be tangible impact on reducing violence, improving workforce readiness skills, enhancing academic achievement, and encouraging young people to continue to educate and to find employment. This was all done through an open and competitive application process, and we believe we were able to find organizations who are committed, who are ready to drive and make sure that our youth of Columbus are ready. That's why I'm excited to be a part of the investment in supporting our young people in youth programming. This remarkable investment in city's youth will offer even more opportunities for our children to participate in safe, enriching activities this summer. This is a great example of how we can come together to address the needs of our youth and our community. The partners here today and the organizations who are offering summer programs are all stepping up to create opportunities for our youth and our community. By working together, we can keep our youth safe, making sure that this city, our city, stays stronger. Now, I'd like to introduce Nevaeh Lipson, who is a youth. She's a senior at Bishop Hartley High School. Thank you, Nevaeh, if you come at this time.
Hi. As she said, I am Nevaeh Lipson. I'm a summer intern at the African American Male Wellness Agency, and I would just like to talk about a few opportunities the agency has given me that I will forever cherish and take with me into the near future. After a small talk with the agency's founder, Mr. and Mrs. Gregory, I was able to receive a separate internship at a law firm after a small talk about how I would like to pursue law. It's opportunities like that for youth that makes the community much better. I believe that the agency has given me so many different chances and opportunities to build the community up, and I encourage many other teens to pursue an internship with the African American Male Wellness Agency. And now I believe it's time I give the podium back to Mayor Ginther.
Thank you. Thank you, Nevaeh. So exciting, uplifting to hear about your time with the African American Male Wellness Agency, and so proud of your success. We wish you the best of luck at Xavier University. Go Musketeers. It's not every day Buckeyes are cheering for the Musketeers, but we're cheering for you, and we're excited about you. So neighbors, more than 90 organizations plus everything the city is bringing to bear is a substantial community investment, but still doesn't represent the totality of what this moment requires. Like so many other cities across America, Columbus is confronting a devastating gun problem. Yet another horrendous phenomenon that is affecting our city's youth and young adults more than most. We're embracing a comprehensive approach to bring down the violence through prevention, intervention, and enforcement. Many of the programs receiving the funds we've announced here today, either directly or indirectly, contribute to our prevention and intervention efforts citywide by providing structure, stability, and enrichment for young people across a variety of disciplines. But more still needs to be done. I said just a moment ago, this is a collective community lift. So I'm asking parents, grandparents, guardians, caregivers, faith leaders, neighbors, and others to pitch in and do their parts as well. It starts with locking up the guns in your house. And don't keep firearms in your vehicles either. We need to get as many guns off our streets as we can. We also are big believers in curfews at your house, under your rules. We need curfews for kids in our community. We need those curfews enforced by moms and dads and guardians. Know where your children are and who they're with. 24/7. We understand that nonstop hands-on supervision isn't feasible for every family, but that doesn't mean you can't keep tabs on your kids in other ways. Write up a schedule, make a family calendar, go the extra mile and find ways to check in throughout the day. Call on your support systems to step in and help you out when you need an extra set of hands, when the situation requires that you be in two places at once. We understand the balancing act that many families, and that's why these investments and resources are so important. And always be on the lookout for creative and meaningful ways to introduce structure, stability, and safety into your summertime routines. You can start by going to columbus.gov to view the list of organizations receiving funding this summer and visit their websites to see what's available in terms of camps, classes, and more. Together, we'll do everything within our power to keep our kids and families safe, making our neighborhoods stronger, and build the very best future for our city. Be happy to take any questions from the press.
How do you plan on targeting those at-risk youth who traditionally don't participate in these kinds of programs?
That's a big part of the process that we're going through is looking at results, young people that have received services, the impact we've had. I'm not sure, Director William Scott, do you want to speak to that, how we took that into account?
Sure. Absolutely. One of the things that we're doing again this summer is working with some of those organizations that normally would not have received city funding. We know we have great organizations that are grassroots, that are on the ground, that the young people trust, and we don't like to say at risk, we call them at promise, because there's a promise for all of our children. And so we're working with some of those organizations that we know have the ability to reach our young people.
Programming, I think of during the day while the kids would have been at school, but we're seeing a lot of crime happen later in the day. So do any of the programs have evening activities that would keep kids off the street later in the day?
Yeah, I think we're looking at different hours, but also there's probably, is that of a 12-year-old, there's a lot of programming for kids under 12. It's tougher to program and offer things that kids want to participate in that makes sense, once they get to that pre-adolescent age point. So that's been a real focus with this funding as well. I'm not sure if either of the director want to speak to the hours. Director Reese?
I can address that we have late night basketball this summer, which we've held at many of our locations. So again, once again, that's our teens, that's our middle age group that we'll be focusing on. But then we also have our TIP program, which is our Teens in Impact. And so they go to various neighborhoods throughout the city, and they do pop-up events in the evening. So these are events that will really cater to teens, the middle school age group, and really kind of keep them active after the hours that we're seeing some of the activity that take place.
Looking at the list, I see a lot of organizations that are prominent. We've seen a lot, but I also see a lot of new ones that we might not have seen. Are you able to tell me about some of the qualities that you were looking for, and specifically these newer organizations, to help get them off the ground and decide that they were worth investing in?
Yeah, I'll let the directors speak to that, but you're absolutely right. We knew that based on what we're seeing and what the needs were from young people, we had to do some things differently. We couldn't just fund the large organizations that may be more established and that we have longer track records with. I mean, in order to reach young people that we haven't been able to reach with different hours, different strategies, we had to be more creative, particularly to reach teenagers and young adults, to give them, some productive, creative outlets and opportunities to grow and thrive and stay safe. But directors, do you want to speak a little bit to some of the new organizations we're funding?
Sure. One of them, ICE Mentors, I'll say, ICE stands for Image, Character, and Etiquette. And this is a young husband and wife that have been working in our community and really stepped up during the pandemic, using money out of their own pockets to provide programming to our young people. And so it's those organizations that we know they have trust, the young people trust them. They've been working with them now for a few years. And so it's organizations like that that we really looked at, what can you offer? And again, who do our young people trust? Because, I like to think I'm a great person and they're gonna wanna hear what I have to say, but they may not. And so if it's those organizations that they've been working with over the course of a couple of years, that they already have begun to build those relationships.
Mayor Ginther, I have a question. It's easier to quantify the stats of crime that has happened. How do you quantify success in these programs since that data doesn't exist? So what does success mean to you in these programs?
Well, I think there's a pretty strong correlation to updating our comprehensive neighborhood safety strategy and seeing homicides and violent crime drop by 33% last year. That was also a year that we made a $16 million investment, historic investment in summer youth programming and resources. And so increasing that again while continuing to fund intervention with creation of the new Office of Violence Prevention and record number of classes and resources for more officers. We think that's the comprehensive approach that's going to make us all safer, giving kids what they need, investing in them, lifting them up, but also making sure we're funding intervention and enforcement efforts to make sure that our communities stay safe. I think you raised an important point, and we mentioned it. Although there are fewer rescue plan dollars that's part of this overall funding this year, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank President Biden, Congresswoman Beatty, and Senator Sherrod Brown, who all supported the American Rescue Plan. This is part of the reason we've been able to make these investments, in addition to police and other basic city services investments that we've all made into the Community Shelter Board, homelessness, housing, and so would like to thank them for their support.
How has the attendance been with these programs, and are there certain incentives that we can offer to get kids who wouldn't normally buy into this program?
I think our attendance has been very strong. I'll let the directors speak to that. I think there's still a lot of demand out there for young people, especially for this newer, more innovative programming and resources. But I'll let the directors speak to that. Either one of them?
We'll tag team this one. We looked at some of our attendance from last year, and we had about an 88% attendance. And so that's when we give our plea out to our parents and guardians, because littles can't get themselves to programs. So if you get them signed up, let them spend the summer with our organizations that are working with them. And I know Director Reese has some other figures she can share.
We have over about 95% when it comes to our evening programs. Our summer camps have waiting lists. And so when you talk about numbers and where we are, we're often looking at how do we expand our programs. And so that's one of the things I think we really have a benefit for the city of Columbus, and that is how do we expand from where we are currently kind of moving forward. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, this is Bill. So a lot of things, some of the things that I do here a lot is volunteerism. When I was 16, I actually walked in the park. That was my first job through the city. So what are some of the initiatives that you guys are putting in helping create volunteering opportunity for these young people? And I believe that's what saved me. Because I know there was quite a few chances that I could have ended up in the wrong side.
Yeah.
But I know volunteering is what ultimately helped point me to the right direction.
Yeah, we really encourage and foster volunteering year-round. We think it's critically important, though, for young people that they have paid internships and the ability to put money into their own pocket. I mean, we're paying $20 an hour for lifeguards, and great opportunities for young people to be part of internships either with the city or with partner organizations that we've talked about, because we think it's important to put money into those young people's pockets as well, to also start to teach them about budgeting and finance and all those types of things and about savings. And so we always are fostering volunteerism and partnerships. Today's announcement is about summer in particular and where we're putting these resources.
To that, I know that having my first job when I was 15, in addition to volunteering with the park before that, is actually what created for not just me, but other kids that were in my high school.
Yeah, you want to talk, Director?
I appreciate that. We do have a counselor in training program, which is a volunteer program. Those youth are able to start with us as early as ages 13. And so they come and they work within our summer camp programs. They work a lot with the younger age groups of children that are in our camps. So we do have volunteers. Last year, we served over 12,000 volunteers within the Recreation and Parks Department. So there are a number of volunteers that come in, not just on environmental issues, but also in our camps and various programs. So yes, volunteers are very vital and important to, I think, all of us. And then you have My Brother's Keepers, that's in the Department of Neighborhoods as well. So volunteers come through that program as well. So I think both departments, when we talk about Department of Neighborhoods, Department of Recreation and Parks, we have volunteers and we look for volunteers. So if there's volunteers out there, but this is, like the mayor said, based on funding for summer programming.
Thank you, Director. Any other questions from the press? All right. Have a great day, everybody.